right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it was literally like that. I was writing that, and the the uh, the extension was actually announced
Mhm.
while I was writing
As you
that.
were writing it,
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, convenient.
beautiful. I will embed that tweet
Yeah,
and call it. Yeah, exactly. I know
yeah.
how that
Well,
goes.
it was just like, so our $5 million goalie has turned into a $5 million guy who's sitting on
It's a
the.
little early to go there.
Yeah, but I mean, you get my
Yeah.
point. You get my point. Like please, please don't
I feel like as long as
going to get
the train,
demoted and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, please no, because that's all the Avs need.
I feel like as long as the train is rolling, it's less likely they're going to make a significant change. Yeah. I think if there's a dip, like we did see Wedgwood have a little dip a few weeks ago. I think that needs to happen for the door to open again. Yes, he did. Yeah, he's been great over the last week or so. I think the extension is could be a topic of its own because the implications of that are kind of interesting.
Yes. Right. Yeah, maybe we should go on.
Well,
to
that's
that
why,
next.
and because I think this question leads us to that conversation as well, which is from what you've seen so far from both of their careers, Blackwood and Wedgwood, who has the higher ceiling and who has the lower floor? Because I think when you go into the playoffs, those are the two things to consider. You don't necessarily go with the player that has the highest ceiling just because of that. You also have to contemplate how bad it could possibly get.
Well, you also have to look at who's injured more.
Yeah,
and Blackwood tends to be. Am I incorrect on that? Because it seems like that was his problem in New Jersey. That was his problem.
I think you could obviously make that argument here in his time in Colorado.
I'd have to investigate that. I think he just kind of wasn't quite mentally ready for all what came in New Jersey.
Yeah,
that's he didn't fair. Have physical injuries.
Gotcha.
Mental injuries? No.
I'm leaving that door open. I don't know, but he definitely wasn't
on the shelf.
He wasn't on the shelf a lot. He just wasn't playing well. And then he got shipped to San Jose and did end up playing pretty well. And did not, he only spent, I think, half a season or maybe a season and a half there, but he didn't miss games. He just, this is his first major surgery.
Okay.
As far as I know.
I thought I remember seeing something that he had missed time due to a knee injury or something like that in New Jersey, and this was not a first time thing. So, but
gotcha. Okay.
You hear the difference in the way that Blackwood and Wedgwood talk. And the way they analyze he has a lot more experience about it. You've heard analysts even say, you've heard Riker say, you've heard TNT analysts all say, it's like, are you coming for my job? Because they'll ask him to break down a simple goal, and he goes into a 2-minute, 3-minute ramble about how one shot got past him and what he could have done right or what he could have done wrong. And you don't hear that kind of stuff from Mackenzie Blackwood. He just seems to make it simple, which is what you should do. But Wedgwood knows what everyone is doing. At least he can put it verbally, at least.
Action, which I hate, by the way. I think that works really well in football and stuff, but it doesn't work as well with a game like hockey. No. And you could tell that Wedgwood was even annoyed because he was trying to watch, and he was like, "Okay, guys, sounds good. You guys have a great." But simultaneously, he did a great job, and he was exactly like you described of him, saying, "Oh yeah, well that's a tougher save for uh, for Blackwood there because you lose sight and yada. Like he did a really good job of breaking down one of the goals again. So you're totally right. Evan, it's been a while. We missed you, buddy. Congrats on your first ding of the season last week. You weren't here to be anointed with that victory, but here you are today. I'm curious how you feel about this whole Scott Wedgwood, Mackenzie Blackwood. First of all, it's a great problem to have, obviously, if you're the Colorado Avalanche. But secondly, like, when does it become a not so good problem? When does it become awkward in the room?
Yeah,
I guess
you took the words right out of my mouth. It's a good problem to have. As for the second part of that question, I don't know if it really can be. And I guess I say that because of, I guess, recent, we all hear about the Georgiev situation and how he wasn't the best culture in the room, all those sorts of things. But you also didn't have a Gabriel Landeskog in the room that's holding the glue together with everybody, right? I think that's a big part of, the situation. Wedgwood is not only a really good goaltender, but also just a really good human, the sounds of it. So that's great. You love to see that, right? And like if Landeskog and Wedgwood are, Blackwood, if there's some sort of kerfuffle, I guess, for lack of a better term, like that feels like something that can be fixed easily and addressed easily. Like, I'm not too concerned about that. It's a great problem to have if you are 1 and 2, or sorry, not 1 and 2, but 1A and 1B, right? Like if it's a similar situation to Kemper and Francois, which is, I think it's going down that line already. That feels good with me. I don't see how it would become an issue, at least for me personally.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up with Landeskog. And also, like, at the end of the day, it's going to be about winning. So I think if I answered my own question, the only time it gets awkward is if, like, one guy is clearly losing more and having a way, and really the only guy who can make it awkward in terms of that is Blackwood. Like, if Blackwood does kind of come back to being the regular starter and then has a really bad couple of games or few games, and we go back to Wedgwood and he tears it up for more, back to Blackwood, and then it's still not kind of fixed, then I do think it gets awkward because of the fact that it comes down to winning. So the guys are going to want the person between the pipes who gives them the best chance to win. And that everyone has their own opinion on that, to include players on any given team. So it's going to be a fun thing to watch. But Evan, I have another question for you. And this will be a good segue into the next segment, which is our Player of the Week segment. You nominated Martin Necas. And obviously I have my reasons and think that's a great nomination, but tell me why you nominated him.
He just had a nice week. If I'm being honest, let me go back and let me pull up his stats real quick, because he did have a very good week. I know it was a 3-point game against Anaheim or Buffalo, something like that. One of the games earlier this week that he had a very good game. He's got points, I think, in his last 4 or 5 games. Yeah. So he's on a 5-game point streak. He had 4 points against Buffalo. He has 7 points dating back to last week. So he's had a very good week. Really like what I'm seeing out of him still. And I know that there were questions about whether or not he would keep pushing on and keep being a good player going forward after signing a new long-term hefty contract, and he's done that. So I'm impressed with what I like so far. I like what I see. I hope he keeps it up, because it's a really good, big part as to why the Avalanche are on a hot streak, really.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the play where he passed up what looked like a good empty net chance to get the puck back to Landeskog, who, by the way, did have another goal disallowed last week? That's a great play to see. In the interview after, did you hear what he said there?
Yeah, what did he say? He said something along the lines of like I pass it to my captain, like whenever he's open or something like that, right? So
it's pretty much, he said, if the captain's open, you pass it to him. And I love that because, especially from like the big name guy that you just re-signed, because he already gets it. He understands like the power dynamic. And I think that the Spit and Chicklets guys have talked about this a little bit, and I've heard DNVR do it as well. But Landeskog's presence is so good for, I think, really the upper echelon in terms of talent and power balance with this team. Nathan MacKinnon in particular. And I think The reason being is he doesn't have to do the parenting stuff. That's kind of what Gabe does. Nate can kind of side eye you while you eat spaghetti, according to Sam Malinsky. But yeah, exactly. There you go, Evan. Evan is also eating spaghetti, and Brandon is McKinnon side eyeing him. But you know, it's good for a guy like Nathan McKinnon to be able to just focus on performing. And I think that has seeped its way into different parts of this lineup to include a guy like Martin Hitchens. So it is really exciting. The other nominations we got for Player of the Week were Brock Nelson, who got 12% of the vote when I looked about an hour ago. So maybe changed just a little bit. I doubt it. The vote was pretty much in. Taylor McCarr was a nomination, and he got 9% of the vote, which is a little more than I honestly anticipated. I thought he'd get probably like less than 5%. And then Marty Natchez did, in fact, get 19% of the vote, with Scott Wedgwood winning our Mile High Hockey Player of the Week with 62% of the vote. And we've already done a great job of expressing ourselves as far as how good Scott Wedgwood has been. But in particular, he was excellent against the Islanders, making some crazy saves. That shoulder save he made on a kind of an off-angle chance where he just kind of man, like that's the stuff you do in the basement when your brother's shooting a sock at you and you feel like you're under the real lights and you fall in love with hockey. Like, to see those sort of saves, it's just so, I guess, it's just so accessible to me. It makes me feel like he's playing the same game that I played as a kid, and that is a really cool thing to watch. So we'll keep an eye on that. But congratulations to Scott Wedgwood, our Player of the Week this week. I want to move on to next week's games, if you guys don't mind, and start taking a look at the Rangers, Predators, and Blackhawks, which are coming up. Folks, while I have your attention, please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material to include previews, recaps, opinion pieces. I'm going to be putting out a poster in the next few days with a little help from Jackie, so be on the lookout for that. And a part of that, Jackie, that poster, is getting a little bit of a feel for kind of where we're at this season. And I'm curious about if I sent this same poll out for the Rangers, like what is the read on this Rangers squad? They're basically a 500 team with 5 wins and 5 losses, with lacking an identity like we kind of teased last week.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think culture is another thing we talked about last week. But then if you look at it, they won 7 of their last 10. Everybody still has a chance in the East, and Shesterkin's playing better again. So I think when you have an elite goaltender and he's playing well, that definitely raises the ceiling for your season. So I think they're okay. I think perception is more that they've fallen off. I think they're old. They're definitely not what they were, but I think it's easy to write off teams like that, and they always bounce back. Like, we're kind of seeing it from the Bruins as well. So of the 3 teams we're going to talk about, in theory, the Rangers are the toughest test. I don't really think any of these teams are going to really be a test for the Avs, but the Chicago game does get a little weird, but we'll get there. So if you look at the Rangers, Panarin always plays well. Seems like they're just going to let him walk unless they really bottom out. I don't think they're really going to bottom out. Like I said, if Shesterkin's playing well, I don't think they're going to bottom out. So they have to make a decision there. Are they willing to let him walk? Or are they going to trade him, even if maybe they're a playoff team? But yeah, they lost a lot of talent. I don't know why they think the answer was bringing in JT Miller. Like, we know he's kind of a culture problem himself. I don't know. They're just one of those sort of, in a way, legacy teams, kind of getting by on their reputation, but they also make good on most of it. So they're competitive. I guess you could say that. They're a competitive team. I think, like I said, people want to write them off a little bit more than I think probably deserve. Like, their analytics are okay, not bad. There's nothing really in there that's really glaring to say like what they are, they aren't. They're just okay.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a 500 team to me, and I said 5-5, but it's actually 10 regulation wins and 10 losses, OT or otherwise. I believe they have 8 regulation losses and 2 overtime losses. But I read it just like you. In theory, they should get better as the season wears on because Shesterkin should kind of find his groove. I know last year was like a weird year with his contract pending and everything, and so I think that's a good read on the Rangers. But Ezra, the Predators also an anomaly and kind of have been since
notes on
Brandon?
the Rangers is first off 9 out of 10 9 out of their 10 wins have come on the road. Yeah, so they're not winning at home. They hate
cool
MSG
place.
for some reason.
Well, the people inside of it can be, it's a debatable, I guess.
Yeah, that's debatable. And then second of all, I don't know if anyone saw the Detroit game and the New York game.
Oh yeah, gross jersey combination, by the way.
Perfect.
So gross.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No,
Gross in a great way.
Yeah, I was gonna say not gross. Perfect. So, but I needed to just add that. Anyways, Ezra.
That's fine. No, Ezra will continue on the kind of same route there with the Predators, who are still underperforming kind of since last season. This still feels kind of true for the Rangers. But on the other hand, as Jackie pointed towards, the Blackhawks feel like they're the one of those three who really turned the page as they sit tied with the Jets for 4th place in the Central. What has been the catalyst for Chicago? Is it really as simple as Connor Bedard is shooting more?
A number of young players seem to take a step. I mean, Frank Nazar's been great. I think that's huge. And honestly, they rather than just kind of packaging young players who really don't know what they're doing yet and older players who really can't seem to do what they are used to know how to do, they have a little bit more in the middle now with this roster as the young players get a little bit older and some of the less helpful veterans have been moved out. Taylor Hall. But I mean, Taylor Hall's useful on the Hurricanes, but he just was not playing for Chicago. He was on the shelf. So I think that's part of it. But then the other factor is you do have to just look at goaltending, and they're getting goaltending. I mean, they hadn't been getting any goaltending for the last couple of years, which happens when you have a young team in front of youngish goalies or oldish goalies. In the case of Marc-Andre Fleury, like those goalies are less likely to be able to make a big difference in a game because in a situation where they're getting peppered by uncontested shots or backdoor plays that are getting through because young players aren't defending correctly. So they've got a combination of emerging goalies and emerging forwards. And somebody mentioned in our chat here, Korchinski, who I haven't watched too much of the Blackhawks, but I was high on Korchinski when he was coming into the league. So it's exciting to hear that he's moving forward. So thank you for that, Anthony Pacino.
I was going to say their other young defenseman, Levushinov, or how do you say his name? I think he's the young one. I noticed he has 10 points, so he's contributing. And then our old friend Andre Burakovsky is one of those more helpful veterans, as I mentioned. I want to say about the Blackhawks. I also noticed they're getting great goaltending from Spencer Knight, so at least that's a younger guy with talent, so that could be something a little bit more legitimate. One anomaly I thought was funny, I looked at all three of these teams, was the Blackhawks analytically not so good. So you do wonder if there's going to be a little bit of a dip coming, but the strange anomaly is they create nothing on the power play, yet they're shooting 20% on it. So that's where they're getting their scoring. So I'm interested.
Every 5 chances on the power play, it's going in.
To see what that looks like. That they're creating like the worst in the league per 60, but they're shooting 20% on it. So
okay, so give up 3 power plays and give up 3 shots, and you should be fine. Give up 3 power plays and give up 15 shots, you're going to give up 3, and that's just math. Just saying.
And then I'll just say about Nashville really quick. They kind of have the opposite problem. Yes, they have horrific goaltending this year. Saros is doing terrible. Don't look up Annan's stats. If you still like Annan, don't look up his stats. they're analytically they're okay. They should be doing a little bit better than they are. The goaltending's really killing them. They have trouble scoring. I think Barry Trotz has created a culture problem there. I mean, the guy they refused to sign is on their top line and is like third on their team in scoring, Evangelista.
Mhm.
And it's like, when you make that big of a deal to sign a guy that's that important for you, it's a bad look. And I think that maybe they picked the wrong veterans, but it's just, I think culturally something
It's so strange.
And stop the puck.
Well, it's so strange because you described that, and Saros was one of the better goalies in the league a few years ago, by most people's accounts. Evan, I mean, both you and I, heading into last season, pegged the Predators as a sneaky. Didn't feel very sneaky when you looked at their roster, and the addition of Barry Trotz happened, even though they acquired all of that talent. In your mind, is there any hope in Nashville? What would that look like? And then I want you to touch on the Rangers in Chicago as well.
Yeah, like many of my predictions, that one blew up in my face big time. So not great. Nashville, man, like I don't know what they got to do. I know Jess, another hockey writer, huh?
Get rid of Juice and Juice.
Well, yeah.
The double juice.
Jess, another My Hockey writer I know, was suggesting in like our main hockey group chat yesterday about somehow getting McDavid there, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe I don't even know he would do anything. But I don't know. Nashville's a whole mess. As for the Rangers, they hopefully should win that one. That might be the hardest game on paper, kind of like we said. But man, the Blackhawks, they're just always sneaky. You know, it's just always sneaky against the Avalanche. I believe they're in Chicago, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's
so in Chicago, like there's always some voodoo crazy stuff that happens at the United Center for some reasons, right? Don't use the T word. It could be, especially if the Avalanche win the next two games, against the Rangers and the Predators. Then you're looking at that one. I feel like could be a circled loss, maybe just knowing how it all works out. And then as fans will go crazy about it, and they're going to say, "Oh, fire Bednar, whatever."
Yeah,
like,
guys, we still haven't even seen the second regulation loss. Like that is mind blowing. That's actually mind blowing.
It's not good enough.
We're at November 18th. We still have not seen a second regulation loss. We've only seen 3 regulation losses from the Eagles, and life is good right now.
Around here. Yeah, if you're a Colorado sports fan, I know the Nuggets lost last night to the Bulls, which was very surprising. But otherwise, I think that was like a 21-game winning streak up until the Nuggets lost last night. And I know this is a hockey podcast, but when the Broncos beat the Chiefs, I have to mention it. And it has to be documented that I mention it. I was parading through the house.
Mahomes didn't have the refs in his pocket, apparently.
Did you see that ref straight truck Sean Payton?
It was funny because on the podcast What Chaos, they flat out mentioned how passionate Avs fans are and how passionate like Denver fans are in general because of broadcasters like the Altitude Crew. Jackie exactly knows what I mean. So if your podcast, but yesterday's episode, everyone needs to listen to like the first 5 minutes, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Well, you can watch as many podcasts as you like, folks. Just make sure this is one of them.
Yeah, you have to listen to ours. You must listen to ours.
I don't hate veering off into Broncos beating Chiefs land for just a second. But I do want to talk about some of the polls that we sent out on the X account today and I believe yesterday, Jackie, just because I think they're great questions and ones that we should answer ourselves. The first of which is how many points will the Avalanche earn this season? Or, excuse me, wins.
I think it was
wins.
the question
yes,
was wins. Yeah.
with 60 or more, 55 to 59, 50 to 54, or 49 or fewer as the option. 55 to 59 wins has taken the cake with 46.3. I'm not surprised that 35% of fans are bullish and think that the Avs can win 60 or more. But that's the question I want to pose. Jackie, I'll start with you. I know we kind of asked this question to start the show with the win rate, but what was your answer to this poll and why?
The third answer, the 50 to 54, I think it
54.
was. Well, I mean, people are going to think 49 sounds terrible. That's what they had last year. So,
yeah.
If they even got 49 wins, that's not terrible. Obviously with the start they've had, but it's also the loser points and not necessarily like winning every single game. So I'm just saying they might not quite have the exact win total you would expect. The other thing is what I mentioned when Boston set the record with, they had 64 wins, I think. So even approaching 60 is quite a feat. So this is all why I say I picked the third option, the between 50 to 54, because it would be an improvement over last year. Like I said, the Olympics and having nothing to play for, you might see a dip later in the season that really doesn't mean anything. So that's all kind of why I chose that.
I think that makes sense. Does anybody else think otherwise?
I think I was going to say 50 to, I haven't seen this full, so I would have said probably 50 to 54 too. I mean, 49 wins is a great season too. Like that's phenomenal, right? You're winning over 50% of your games on a path to a playoff push. So that's great. 50 to 54, I feel like is probably the sweet spot for the Avalanche. I don't remember what Winnipeg and Dallas's wins were last year, but I imagine that they were somewhere along those lines of the 50 to 54, 55 range.
Probably. It's pretty hard to get above 55.
Yeah, like that feels like the sweet
Jets
spot.
at 56.
56.
Jets at 56.
50. So like the Avalanche, I think that sweet spot is really to like doomer over here, but there is going to be a crash at some time by the Avalanche. Like it's just bound to happen.
Don't you say that?
Like there's as much as I would love to go, whatever it's going to be 75 and 10 and 8 or whatever. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a fall back to earth. Just prepare yourselves, everybody. So like I think that will sort of temper expectations a little bit.
I think there was a decent spread. I think there was a decent spread in the answer. I actually think the winner was the second option, 55 to 60.
So, which would be nice if.
So I didn't vote, but that's probably what I would have chosen, just because, I mean, it is definitely true that the overtime losses that get us a point are a big factor in the Avs' current record, but also like they lost their first 5 overtime games, and it's just unlikely for the trend to continue. So I would think you'd see some more wins coming in the future in overtime games, which do count towards the win total. And I mean, yeah, if they keep playing like this, and I have to come clean on something. I was wrong about Blackwood earlier. I think that's why my internet crashed, because the combination of being wrong and trying to look up the right answer at the same time. He did have ankle surgery in New Jersey, and then he missed some games for an MCL later in his career as well. But according to the article I read, he thinks he learned how to manage injuries better from all that. So
we will see.
But anyway, but anyway, I mean, I think if Blackwood starts winning games too on top of Wedgwood, then I think that 59 cap feels like the right area, rather than I wouldn't expect any team to win over 60, but I think they can get past 55 if they get both goalies going.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing. It's like if they do win 55 to 59 games, what's the spread? But what's the spread between the goalies? Like, is that 39 wins for Blackwood, and Brennan's getting a call from God right now. God's checking in, bro, making sure.
I think what does
Potential
Wedgwood
spam.
already have over 10 though?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's what I'm
does.
saying.
he's-
Like he could end up being the one with 30 wins, and Blackwood end up with 20 some. But Blackwood might be the starter on round 1, game 1. So it's just going to be such a fun year to gauge kind of how everything sorts out. I'm like, they'll never lose again. Whatever. I don't care. Just don't. It's fine. I know the law of averages. Sure. Whatever. Maybe there's a new average. Just say it. Can't
I
be
think
this
another
good.
big factor is if after the Olympic break they want to push for the division title or they want to gear up for the playoffs, because those are two really different ways to approach the last couple of games, the last 20 or so games. I assume by the Olympic break they'll be firmly in a playoff spot. So if they were to take the foot off the gas and just get healthy, that would change things, obviously. But
Yeah, podcast about goalies who don't get training camps need a lot of runway to get back into shape. That's true, and especially
Wait,
true.
is vaguely cheating on us?
I don't know, maybe, possibly, probably. That's how this works. Like I said, watch them all.
Vaguely's in
Watch
every hockey
all the
podcast.
Yeah, Vaguely's following the rules. Watch all the podcasts, including ours. Congratulations, Vaguely, you're doing it.
I'm a Puck Soup listener. I hear you.
Yeah, I like Puck Soup as well. And actually, when we mention other podcasts on the show, that's how we end up getting those little things on the bottom that says other listeners also listen to this. So when we mention those great hockey podcasts, they'll end up on our feed as well. So it's a good thing. Isn't it wonderful? Yes.
There are no downsides.
Not even one. That's right. Oh, that's funny. But the next question I have is kind of like it covers two of the polls that I sent out. We talked already about Bardakov probably being the odd man out in the event that LOC and now Nichushkin return to the lineup. But with Nichushkin out, we saw another installment of Taylor McCarr and Cale McCarr joining the ice together. So one of the poll questions was who will be the next call-up. And Taylor McCarr is in there. Tristan Nielsen is in there. As well as some others who did not comment who the other person was, but that's fine. So the answer by an overwhelming margin, well, I guess not too overwhelming, 46.5% went to Taylor McCarr, but Gushin got quite a few votes. Does anybody want to touch on him and why they think that might be?
So first off, the rule is that you have to report to the team, to the in our case, the Eagles, physically when you are sent down, and you have to play at least one game before you are recalled back up. So since the Avs play before the Eagles play again, Taylor McCarr is out for the next game, at least.
Gotcha.
So it would, and then Gushin is injured currently, so that narrows that down even more. So more than likely, my guess would be Nielsen.
The lowest percentage of the vote, by the way.
This was
because
also,
they don't.
Let me just clarify.
Everyone doesn't know anything.
That this was before the previous game.
Before Taylor McCarr went.
It was before. Yeah. So the correct answer was McCarr because it was asked before that. So,
True.
So if it was posed right now, I agree with Brennan that we can't put McCarr in there because he's not eligible. We shouldn't put Gushin in there because he's hurt. So now it does become an interesting question. Is it Nielsen because he's the third most likely left, or are they going to look in a different direction?
Yeah, and so if
Curtis
TJ Tynan, come on down.
Well, no,
anybody but Tynan.
Tynan has no goals right now. He leads. He is third in the. Okay, first off, if you read my article today, that was on Mile High Hockey, Evan. He is third in the league, but it is all assists.
Yeah. Which, by the way, he earned you an X, because a buzzer because he
exactly, and we didn't sweep Tucson. So yeah, I was very upset that night.
You were over.
So yeah, the Avs played Taylor McCarr 3 minutes. Like that is beyond point.
and he had no shots on goal, which is understandable. But
yes, like
don't tell Mosier that.
Minutes. So I don't even know. Like, honestly, I don't even know what I would want. I guess what I would want to see Ivan. He got an assist in the game. Makar did not. So he should have had 2 assists, really. He won a face-off that led to a goal. But, I mean, I'd like to see Ivan. If it's not Ivan, I really don't care as long as it's not Tynan.
And Ivan has been playing better.
That's like good.
I think he's
lately.
played good.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple games. I think he's hustling, he's forechecking, he's making plays. If they're holding against him because he's not on power play 1 and not scoring cheap points, whatever. But I mean, he's a better player than Taylor Makar right now.
Well, he's also been getting praise from Testy on his play anyways. And been told that flat out to that because he's setting his bar higher every game, that's what he's going to be held to.
But I think then the others don't have a bar. Like,
well, no,
I guess we'll see.
Every game, that bar goes up for everyone. But currently, here's the list as of the last game for the Eagles: is Gushin's out with the lower body. We don't know what the timeline is. Steinberg's out with the lower body. His 3 weeks. Gay is out with the lower body. That's 4 to 6 weeks. Bradley's out with the lower body. That's 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeesh.
And McDonald is out with his hip. That's month to month. And we're still waiting on Prishpatov.
And this is normal for the AHL, by the way.
Yeah. But I did his skating, and he is very close to not having being in a full contact sweater.
Okay.
Which is good. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play again.
I think everyone is.
But then what does he have to do to actually? What the point is? What does he have to do to actually have it be meaningful again?
Yeah,
that's going to be the question.
Well, speaking of injuries, we also kind of heard that Logan is not quite as close to returning as we thought. Logan O'Connor, that he has some quote soft tissue maintenance to do that's not related to his hip injuries. That's kind of delayed his return.
I did write on that.
I assume that means he's just going to ham in his build up back to returning, and maybe needs to rest up a little bit in the meantime. But Jackie, you called it. Sam Girard came back probably earlier than most people thought he would. And we're still kind of waiting to see Logan O'Connor return to the lineup. So, folks, we'll keep you updated if we get any news on that. Vaguely says, "Hell, give me Ty Felber."
Felly had.
He was last year's toy.
Well, Felly had 2 goals against Tucson in game 1, and actually was playing really well. He was finishing a lot of his plays, so it made a huge difference.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they look to last year's toys, because newer is always better, right? Like we're in the holiday season. The new toys are the ones that get used.
I also did
right about the time
before the game. I put a bet on him that he needed to score goals, and he went and scored 2.
But you didn't put your bold prediction on him.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but the fact that I told him that, I went and told him that I put a bet on him, and he went and scored a goal.
Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Do that with Nathan McKinnon. I'm just saying.
I don't think Nathan McKinnon has a problem with that.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let us now then get into the bold predictions that we had last week, and then we will run our sponsor and get this week's as well. I will start with Evan. You were absent, so in the very nature of not arriving, I apologize, but I'm gonna have to buzzer just because you weren't here. This is the I wasn't here.
I was working a basketball game, man. All right.
How dare you have a job?
Now I know next time when I'm sitting at the scorer's table, I'll put my phone over here while I'm calling the basketball.
Yeah,
game.
well, when someone gets subbed and you hear that, just think of that as the buzzer that you're getting.
That horn still scares me all the time.
Jackie,
I've been here a year and a half.
Every time, I'm the same way. Yeah. Jackie, you had Makar scoring a power play goal. I just want a goal in general at this point from
It
Makar.
still hasn't happened yet. I cannot believe that Makar has not scored on the power play yet.
But you did say that Sam Girard would return and have a point, and that did indeed happen. So congratulations, you've earned yet another ding. Yeah, puts you at in the lead on our bold prediction scoreboard with 4 correct bold predictions. Brandon, you said a sweep against Tucson. You talked about that earlier. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and TJ Tynan did not score. So that's a really quick double buzzer for you. Ezra, 2 goals from Gabe Landeskog this week. I believe
3.
You said 3?
No, I said 2, and I got it, but he had that third one get taken away.
Yeah, exactly. Ding. He did get it. He should have had 3. I understand now. I understand. You also had Gavin Brindley outscoring Callum Ritchie in the head-to-head against the Islanders. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to buzz you. It's kind of haphazard because, I mean, neither guy had a point, so it wasn't like anyone won that matchup per se, and the Avs won the game. So there you go. And then I had the Avalanche. The Gabe Landeskog will have another disallowed goal. That's a ding, but I hit wrong, and I should have hit ding. There it is. That's the one I wanted. At this point, you just bet on it every week. Bet on it every night.
It's like a double negative.
And I said that he just has to keep doing that as a sacrifice to continue winning, and that the Avalanche would win all 3 of the games last week, and indeed they did. So I got a 2 for this week, which is awesome. And an update on the standings are Jackie, of course, in the lead with 4. I'm in second, along with Ezra with 3 points. Evan, you got your first one last week, and Brennan, you have 2. So let's see how that sorts out as the week continues. Now I'm going to roll our sponsor, and while I do, you folks think of your bold prediction this week.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. I call that bold talk.
All right. This segment is called Bold Predictions. As you've probably noted by now, make your own in the chat, and we will be sure to give you a shout out. I believe we gave Vaguely a couple dings last week, so congrats, Vaguely. He has a new bold prediction this week. He says Ty Felberg gets the call up. I like it. We'll put that one down, Vaguely. And folks, I totally skipped the sponsor, but please head on over to Brews Ale House Brewing Company in Pueblo, Colorado. They have available during Avalanche and Nuggets games with some fun specials while all of that goes on. So if you're in Pueblo, please head on over to Brews Ale House Brewing Company, as they are kind enough to sponsor this bold prediction segment. All right, let's go ladies first. Jackie, what you got?
Okay. We still have not seen enough scoring from the defense. So I'm calling for a goal from anyone not named Makar. I think on defense. I think Manson, Burns, and Malinsky each have 1. Taze still has 0. Sam obviously has 0. So is it bold enough to say one of them is going to score an actual goal?
I think so. I think it is, especially considering it feels like Burns is the closest right now, but every single one of his gets deflected. So it's always going to go to what forwards in front of the net. It feels like, which, yeah, exactly. Or Nelson. Apparently, Nelson cashed in on that against the Islanders. Okay, Jackie. So we're just going to do one this week unless somebody comes up with a really good twofer. So we'll stop there for you, Jackie, pending review. So go from anyone not named Makar on defense. Brandon, what about you? What you got?
I'm going to stick with Tiny gets a goal.
This week you said an even strength goal. You're just any goal.
It has to be even strength, yeah.
She added even strength. I'm just going for a freaking goal at this point.
Hey, I'm giving you all that special crap they do in the AHL. 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Even strength covers quite a bit.
9 of his 17 assists are on the power play. So
yeah.
All right, how about this? If it's at even strength, Jackie loses a point.
I'll go with
and that. Brandon gains a point. How's that sound to you, Jackie?
+2, -2.
So if he wins, if he's right, and it's not even straight, I guess that's just punishing
I
you
was
for no
about to
reason.
say,
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Jackie, you know what? -4 points for existing. Okay, DJ Tynan goal. Hopefully at even strength, but you have him down for a goal otherwise, Brennan.
Just
Evan,
freaking goal. Come on, dude.
come on.
But
Yeah,
that's
I looked
not
up his
even like
stats and I was
his
like, oh.
why would we even use the juju on him? Like it's not his game.
Because he has 17 points and none of them are goal.
Look at his career stats. He doesn't even
I
clear
know,
10.
but I don't know if he's ever gone this long without a goal.
Does he need a goal?
Jackie
Like,
just
for what?
hit you with the. We wasted the good surprise on you, TJ Tynan. How dare you? Evan,
Okay, hold
Evan,
on.
what do you
I have
got
a
for me this
stipulation.
week?
Can I ask for a twofer? Because one, I missed last week when everyone made two, and two, I'm gone next week anyway.
Deal.
I'm
Oh boy.
I think
Deal.
I'd say it's fine.
That's fair.
okay.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
appreciate
Let's do it.
I thought of one. I haven't
Just
thought of
take
another one,
mine.
but my one so
Oh,
far
great.
is that I feel like we are due for
Oh.
a shutout by an Avalanche goaltender. That feels like a good week for that to happen against one of the three teams that's coming up. So I like that. As for a second one, man.
Do you want me to circle back for you, or are you going for it?
Yeah, circle
I
back.
do want
Yeah,
to
circle
say
back.
I think I still have Makar for the power play goal. I think we talked about the homestand.
You
So I have
did.
one more.
You
So I
did.
do have the
You said
Rangers
three
game
Rangers. Yep.
for Makar to get the power play goal. But
So that'll be your second one that we'll carry into next week,
Yeah.
Jackie. Okay. So Evan, a shutty. We'll circle back to you. Brandon, we're going to circle back to you for a second as well now. Ezra, let's get
Two
one
now?
from you.
Oh, okay.
well, if we're
Yeah.
all doing two, then you have to give me Makar power play for the whole week. Then I just said, but before it was just about the
I'm the
Gotcha.
one that's in
homestand.
last
So
place here and needs the points, Ezra. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I thought this was just to give Evan an extra. But
that's fine.
No.
If we're just giving Evan an extra, that's fine. I just wanted to say that
No.
Makar is still on the board for one more game.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
like doing two if you so choose. If you leave points on the board, that's you.
How could I not?
You-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like the way Ross Colton was playing. I'm going to say he has a 3-point week.
Nice.
And for a second one, either McKinnon or Natchez is a top 3 star in the NHL for the week.
Oh, I like that.
The timing of things.
I like that. I love it.
Yeah, we'll try.
The poll question I was going to talk about, but we're kind of running out of time, so I quickly switched to predictions. Was the who's had a better start? Like I guess in comparison, kind of to expectation, and the choices were McKinnon, Wedgwood, Malinsky, and Makar, which is an interesting question. Got a lot of votes for Malinsky, so that's a happy thing. But McKinnon, it's hard to not choose him, even though he's done all this before.
I think my answer would
He's
be
somehow getting
Wedgwood.
better,
I think
which
if
is
you're
crazy.
saying relative to expectations, who's exceeded them the most, I think it's Wedgwood.
I agree. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Okay, so those are two good ones for you. Ezra, Brennan, circling back for your second.
Middleton goal. He's
For the
only,
Avalanche?
yeah, no. He's not getting called up.
I like it.
Although I did have a
Keep
very, very
potatoes.
entertaining interview with him over the weekend, so it was actually kind of nice.
Nice.
He
Well, here's a spoiler. I was going to say he might be one of my Eagles 3 stars of the month.
there you go.
Brandon.
He's only got one goal this
There you
year so far, so I say he's going to come out angry based on his interview against Tucson because it's a home series.
Is he angry because the Avs dumped him?
I think he's getting over it at this point.
Was he, though?
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
I can believe it. I sympathize.
Yeah, to the point
All right,
that
well-
you can't even walk up to him and be like 6'7".
Brennan, Ryan,
God dang it.
I will leave this call. I won't even give my second prediction.
Hey, I have a 6-year-old who's walking around doing that for no
just doing
reason.
this all-
We'll just walk into the room and go 6-7.
The worst part is that our women's basketball team has won the last 2 games by a score of 67 to something.
Oh God! And the crowd goes wild.
Yeah,
every time, right?
Okay, hold on. Okay, my actual second bold prediction for a guy that is 3 numbers above 67, Sam Malinsky. I'm actually glad we brought him up because I was thinking about that anyway for a second bold prediction. I'll say he gets 2 points in this next week.
Love it.
Is that acceptable?
He's been so good, man. He's been great analytically too. Like there's not much to poke holes in his game right now, which has been an awesome surprise. And the Avs obviously need that depth with Gerard being on the mend and kind of sorting out that bottom
And
pairing.
no other D
Now
really
it just
scoring.
looks great.
I mean, other than McCarr.
Yeah,
McCarr just doesn't even count when you say like the defense. Like McCarr's his own category.
He's a forward defender, if that makes any sense at all.
But the defense is not
but-
scoring enough. I would say
Yeah.
Malinsky is definitely at the higher end of that exception.
Well, I got yelled at for saying we need to have a conversation about Devon Tays. And I think he's been
it's
good
fair.
like defensively, but I do think we need to talk about that at some point, where that offensive production has gone.
I mean, he
is a
has
concern
picked
for
up
me.
some points lately, but yeah, it is interesting.
He used to do things where you were like, "Oh crap, man!" Like even feel like a factor for him. So hopefully,
Is he getting old?
He could be depending too much on
I don't know,
McCarr to
maybe
do
he-
everything.
Or is he slowing
it
down?
might be the second one.
He's not the youngest guy ever.
No, and he doesn't have he doesn't carry a bag into work every day like Burns. So he might not be aging the same way.
He has 3 young kids. Maybe he's just exhausted.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just going
Heard
to his
that.
happy place.
In his
Checks
defense,
out a
it
little
doesn't
bit.
look like
Yeah.
he's trying to do things and it isn't working. He just is playing very conservative.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I agree with
yeah,
that. I
and
agree
it
with
could
that.
be that he's just he's playing smart hockey and he doesn't care about points. He's just wants to get the puck out of the fucking zone.
I'd
So
say, yeah,
there you go.
I don't know. It's hard to reference analytics because when the team's over like 60, there's just no analysis there. But he's been at the lower end as well. I wouldn't say that he's just being amazing but not getting points. I think
Mhm.
it's a fair topic, but then again, when they win every game, you can't really get into this stuff because there's no evidence, right? So like everyone's
Right.
fantastic and just keep being fantastic. But I do think when there is a dip, it's going to probably be a topic.
I
That'll
agree.
be part of it.
I agree.
Well, it's because he's not playing with EJ anymore, and they're not.
I
Gavin.
God damn it.
I do think that if they really do ever get into a dip, they'll prepare. But and then I don't do
7 and
like
8.
Gen Beta or whatever
Yeah.
we're at now culture. Like
Yeah, I don't either. I still say like that's
You'll
tight,
get
though,
there, Ada.
instead of
You'll
like
get there.
whatever it is.
Trust me, you'll
Yeah.
get there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure my son will
Oh
bring me
yeah.
into the fold. All right, well I got a couple of bold predictions myself. We didn't really touch on this, but we saw Cody Manson with a nasty uppercut. I've never seen someone lose a fight faster than that fight. So my bold prediction is that we're going to see a fight in every game this week. Yes.
wow.
I think you see one against the Rangers because I think the Rangers are a desperate team. I think you see one against the Predators because I think the Avs will be blowing the doors off of them and they'll get annoyed. And I think you see one against the Blackhawks because I have them as a sneaky pick for a playoff team and a potential rival in the years to come if they do indeed realize their hopes and dreams of becoming a playoff team. Central Division, boys. We all remember, and girl, we all remember the rivalry between the Avs and the Blackhawks in the heyday of things. So that'd be kind of a cool thing to see return. And my second one, Gabe Landeskog, is going to have
A disallowed goal.
drum roll, please. A trick.
A
You heard
Gordy.
it here first.
Oh, I
Nope,
was
just
gonna
a
say a Gordy.
normal hat trick. He's gonna get one where he
Wow.
shoots it in. He's gonna have one go off his ass, and then he's
Empty
gonna get
net,
an empty netter.
probably.
Yep.
Then they'll
That's
give
how
A
him
it's
an
hat
gonna
empty
trick of
netter.
disallowed goals.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
we're
they don't have.
stretching it to 2. then
I am going to like reach
Oh,
for
and
the
I
screen
can't
and
because of
punch
the
you at it.
6'7". Okay.
Speaking of kids,
Swear to
though,
God.
vaguely brings up a good thing. Did you guys see the video of Gabe fighting his son on the
was
ice
very cute.
the night after he got in a
Yes, that
fight?
was
Super
cute.
cute. Well, that's it for our bold predictions this week. And unless you folks have any other topics that you want to cover, I think that'll wrap up today's episode. Nothing? All right. Well, thank you folks so much. There's about 602 of you tuned in live. And by about 602, I mean there's exactly 602 of you tuned in live. We really appreciate you guys coming to watch this program. Please like, subscribe, and share with your particular. Get alerts every single time we are live. You'll never miss one of these episodes. If you should so happen to miss an episode, you can head to Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, among other preferred streaming platforms, and you will find our full catalog. Don't forget to head to the website, milehighhockey.com. Don't forget to head over to hockeymountainhigh.com, where you can see Brendan Vogt and Evan Lou's work, and give every single one of these beautiful and esteemed colleagues of mine a follow on your preferred social media platform. On behalf of myself, Adrian Hernandez, Jackie K, Brendan Vogt, Ezra Parter, and Evan Lou, this has been the 120th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. And until next time, go Avs.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.